Hello everyone, my name is Zuck and welcome back to another action figure review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at something different. This is a brand that I never took a look at on this channel at all whatsoever. But today we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2012 NECA action figure, especially starting out with Leonardo, the team leader. So I have something to say, and I will tell you guys, I love the 2012 Ninja Turtles. They are my favorite turtles. They're the ones that I grew up with. I didn't watch the 2003 ones. I didn't watch any of the other ones. This is the one that I grew up with in Nickelodeon, and it's the only one that I was able to actually watch. And there's like no real affordable action figures for them. The only ones that are like really widely known is the Revoltech ones, and those are like $250 per character, so that's like over $1,000 for just both or all the four turtles. So I am not gonna do that. But NECA announced these guys around San Diego Comic-Con time, so they're now releasing. They are available to get through the Walmart app. I got these guys through Walmart. I haven't been able to actually get them anywhere else, surprisingly. So, yeah, without further ado, actually, something I will tell you guys is that I really love NECA's packaging, like the little window opener box. They have really nice artwork of the actual character and everything. The background here doesn't tell you much besides just a little synopsis of who he is, and then just the logo from Nickelodeon. But without further ado, let's take this guy out and see how he looks. Alright, so here we have Leonardo himself, and I gotta say, for my first NECA figure, this is pretty nice. It's a very solid feeling figure. So, in terms of the height for this figure, I read somewhere that they were 7 inches, but he's actually 5.5 inches, which makes me wonder why these are marked as 7-inch figures, when clearly they're not. So, you could theoretically actually put these alongside any of your collections, which actually would fit really nice. And there's a couple of things that I do want to talk about this figure, especially just like the quality of it. It feels fine. It's just a couple of things that I need to get used to, because again, this is my first NECA figure that I ever got. I never owned one. I bought some in the past for a couple of friends, but again, this is my first one. But no, I love all the detail and all the paint that they actually got. They got like all the little dots in the skin. At first I thought that was an issue, but no, it's like actually like skin texture. Not necessarily like sculpted, but it is painted, which is very nice. The actual leather looking pieces are like worn down with the cuts and the little like wash around it. Very nicely done. The bandages are painted nicely with the lines in between. They don't look messy. They look pretty nicely done. The knee pads and the elbow pads are painted nicely. The knee pads are painted better than the elbow pads, which is interesting. I think they could have definitely done a little more here. The sword sheaths, or the sword sheaths are painted beautifully. The katanas. The katanas themselves are nicely done as well. One of them is smaller or shorter than the other, which is interesting. The sword guard is also painted beautifully, as you can see. And then the shell is also meticulously painted with those light highlights. I kind of wish they kind of blended them a little bit better, but it does have texture as well. So it's not just a solid plastic hunk of plastic. It actually is painted, which is very nice. So yeah, and then even just the body itself is beautifully painted. The face sculpt is also very well done, with kind of like the teeth gritting, not smirk, but the action that he's doing here. And of course, the white eyes are painted nicely too. Everything in this figure is painted beautifully. Now, something you could definitely nitpick a couple of things. Like, for example, this is the same yellow as the sword guards, or the bottom of the sword guards. And then, like, the buckles here are the same yellow as here, so you could theoretically nitpick a couple of things, but I actually think they did a really good job with these figures. Now, I don't know much about the articulation, especially since I know it is going to be slightly different because these are turtles. So turtles have a hard shell right here, although it is soft plastic in some areas. So yeah, in terms of the articulation, he can get up to a T-pose, which is really nice. Not the best T-pose, but it is good. Now he does seem to have like a hinge that goes side to side to kind of pose him up, which is really nice. But I don't know much else, actually. Doesn't seem to have like an ab twist or anything. But for the neck itself, I don't know what he has. Let's find out. Well, it's a double ball peg, but can I take off the head? That's the real question. Yes, I can. I just messing everything up. So he does have a little like peg for the head. It is a double ball peg, which is really nice. It is sitting low, very low actually. So they could have definitely put that up higher for him to have much better movement. There we go. But he can look down about that far, looking up not so much. Although he does move his entire upper torso with what seems to be the ball peg that's inside of there. So you could theoretically have him look down a lot. And looking up, actually, that actually helps him out a lot. There is no cut in the neck, of course. For individual neck articulation, you're pretty much using the entire torso there. So yeah, actually very nicely done. Now, ab crunch. He technically does have an ab crunch, and you're using the legs as well. So he could get into some interesting poses. This is soft enough to actually bend, which is really nice. As you can already see with the legs, they can kick forward. Not too much though, but because of limitations. They do have a thigh swivel, which is really nice. To the sides, also really well done. I am a little bit concerned about the pegs and how long they will last as a whole, but honestly, so far it seems pretty good. Again, thigh swivel, double jointed knee, which honestly is not terrible. Just have to loosen a little bit up, lubricate that area first, because it is supposed to go like this. Whoop, one of them fell. But it is supposed to look like this. Honestly, I don't know if you can do this any better, so it looks fine. I just have to. One of these pieces is like super stuck. This knee is hella stuck here. It's just the paint. It really is just the paint. Damn, that sucks actually. I would have to scratch that a little bit with like my X-Acto, or maybe I can just... Yeah, I would probably have to use like a little blade to take that off. That is unfortunate. The paint of the actual knee guard got caught onto the leg itself. That is unfortunate. So yeah, but overall, this guy looks fantastic so far. Honestly, I really like the way that he looks, and he also moves really well. He also has like foot hinges going backwards this far, and not so much forward, but still good enough. Not a lot of pivot, which is unfortunate, but they still work. They still work well. He actually has a lot of much better articulation than I initially thought, especially in the shell area or the torso area, because again, these are turtles, so they would definitely have limited articulation, but I like it. So now let's move on to the accessories, because this guy actually comes with a decent amount of accessories. Alright, so in terms of accessories, we actually have a decent amount, especially for the price point of this figure. So over here, we do have a separate head sculpt, which a lot of people are definitely upset about, and honestly, I can definitely see why. Because there is no regular head sculpt with his regular eyes open. He only comes with this one with his eyes closed, where he's meditating, and his serious, stern face, which is the unfortunate part. Again, they definitely should have included a regular face sculpt, because every other single one has one. Don't know why they decided to do this, but maybe in the future they could do kind of like an exclusive that actually has this. I don't know if they do exclusives. I don't really pay attention to Neca, but hopefully in the future we get something. If not, I could theoretically just 3D print one if I wanted to. But for the hands, we do have a set of fists, which is really nice. Interesting that he doesn't come with them right off the package. We do have sort of like holding hands, where he has a little bit of grip for not only the pizza itself right here, because the pizza is actually very well painted. It's nicely painted. It has a lot of little details here and there, like even some pizza sauce on the actual crust, which is nice. But he can hold those with these. Again, they're very nicely painted as well. Very well done. Come on, focus. Thank you. So, again, kind of like extended holding hands. And he also has this giant gun as well, which is also very well painted. Honestly, they outdid themselves with this figure. And then, last but not least, we also, well, actually, for the hands, we have kind of like these more expression-based hands as well. So, that's really nice. Come on. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, they're very nicely done. One of them is more so like the Kawabunga thing. We do have his little egg. I think I remember this episode, or this being part of an episode where he has like a little egg that he has to take care of, but I'm not entirely sure if I remember correctly. And then he also has his little like communicator phone that he uses with his brothers and everything. So yeah, I am going to go. Actually, I really like this figure, so I'm going to go right into my final thoughts here. I think this figure is phenomenal. Honestly, this surprised me a lot more, and I was a little bit skeptical because I have heard like horror stories of NECA figures just breaking and not being the greatest, and that might just be like bias from people like being negative towards just the brand itself. And I've also seen that NECA is not necessarily the greatest figure company. I've always seen them as kind of like the horror company, so it's interesting that they are actually, and also the turtles. I understand that they make turtle figures as well, like the comic book ones, the previous shows, that sort of stuff. So I'm really happy about this figure, especially since, again, this is a childhood classic for me. And I am definitely going to be getting the rest of them. They should be getting to me very, very soon. You guys are going to see the videos one after the other, but they should be getting soon to me, very, very soon. As an overall score, I'm actually going to give this figure a 9 out of 10. I really like the way that he looks. I like the way that he articulates. Honestly, I thought the articulation was going to be an issue, but no, they actually did a couple of things to actually prevent that and make him very well articulated. Very happy about it, actually. The only reason why I'm taking down a point is because availability. He did sell out, like the initial wave did sell out at first, but I can definitely expect these figures to be in stock for multiple days as the days go. And of course, in addition to this, is that he doesn't have a regular head sculpt where he has his eyes open. So that is the one unfortunate mishap. If he did have that, this figure would have been a 10 out of 10, alongside with the like meditation head. But yeah, that's pretty much all the time I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think about this figure and this series of figures as well. Hopefully, if you've enjoyed, you like and subscribe and all that sort of stuff. But besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.